Hello, I'm Kimberlie Acosta. Welcome to the Native News Update. It's Monday, February 21st. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The Interior Department has rejected the proposal by the Stockbridge-Munsee Band to build a casino in the Catskills in upstate New York, throwing another wrench in the deal between the tribe and the New York State. The decision will likely nullify the deal made between former Governor David Paterson and the tribe. In exchange for giving the Stockbridge-Munsee Community Band of Mohicans permission to open a casino near Monticello, the tribe withdrew its claim on 23,000 acres in Madison County. The tribe, which is currently based in Wisconsin, has its original roots in upstate New York. Kimberlie Veal, president of the Stockbridge-Munsee Community Band of Mohicans, described the Interior Department's decision as damaging for all parties involved. A judge in Montana has thrown out a plea agreement that called for prison time for a 19-year-old Native American on a criminal endangerment charge, saying he should receive a deferred sentence like a former state senator did last month for a similar offense. The state of Montana needs to treat defendants more or less equally and not give old rich guys breaks, and with young poor Indians, whack 'em, said District Judge Dusty DeChamps. Missoula County prosecutors had recommended a 10-year prison term with some time suspended for a car crash last spring in which Arthur Matt's car crossed the center line of US 93 and hit a semi-trailer. Court records say neither the driver of the semi nor Matt's passenger was seriously hurt. Instead, DeChamps imposed a 6-year deferred sentence and ordered Matt to pay more than $37,000 in restitution and complete his general equivalency diploma. The judge said if Matt paid the restitution before his sentence is finished, he could apply to have it cut in half. And former Senator Greg Burkus's plea agreement involved a similar arrangement. Northern California Native American tribes are clashing with the state wildlife regulators over plans to restrict fishing off parts of the rugged coastline from the Oregon border south to Point Arena in Mendocino County. The tribes, including the Yurok, the state's largest, say proposals for marine protection areas along the north coast infringe on their fishing rights. Those proposals currently before the State Fish and Game Commission were crafted under California's 1999 Marina Life Protection Act, which aimed in part at preventing overfishing and restoring depleted fisheries. On the north coast, tribes have been the effort's main critics. At stake for them, tribal representatives say, are cultural practices dating back thousands of years and their sovereign rights. State wildlife officials and advisors say they can't carve out an exception that would allow tribes to harvest marine life from coastal waters while maintaining restrictions for other users. But the two sides appear closer to a solution following a meeting earlier this month. State and tribal officials are currently working on carving out an exception for tribes based on the religious and cultural significance of fishing to its members. South Dakota's Native American population has grown by more than 15% in the past decade statewide, thanks to a high birth rate and the increasing migration of people back to their reservation homes, which some tribal officials suspect were undercounted. The U.S. Census Bureau counted 71,817 Native Americans living in South Dakota in 2010, or 8.8% of the state's population. That's an increase of more than 9,500 people over 2000, but it's virtually unchanged as a percentage of the state's population in the past 10 years. Purdue Galleries in West Lafayette, Indiana, will present drawings by Frank Big Bear, a Native American artist whose work reveals a unique look at the life of the contemporary urban Indian, from March 7th through April 23rd. With inspiration from his White Earth Reservation childhood in Minnesota, American history, and contemporary urban life, Big Bear's works consist of withering layers of images, complex and fractured surfaces, and pop and comic-oriented designs. He credits Minnesota-born Ojibwe abstract painter George Morrison, with whom he studied, for encouragement and inspiration. Drawings by Frank Big Bear is organized by the Tweed Museum of Art, University of Minnesota Duluth. The exhibit is presented in collaboration with the Purdue Native American Education and Cultural Center. For more information, you can check out purdue.edu/galleries. Senior captain of the University of Nevada's women's basketball team, Tahnee Robinson, has been named a semifinalist for the Sullivan Award, a national award to honor the country's best amateur athlete. Robinson grew up on the Wind River Reservation in Fort Washakie, Wyoming, where she was McDonald's and Gatorade All-American. Robinson finished 2010 as the 8th best scorer in the country with 22.7 points per game and 15th in the nation with a 3.1 three-pointers per game. She was twice named Western Athletic Conference Player of the Week and named MVP of the Caribbean Classic. Tahnee's head coach, Jane Albright, said Robinson had spent so much of her personal time to serve as a role model for the Native American community in northern Nevada, and that she is truly one of the most impressive people she had ever coached in her 26 years of coaching. The committee has selected the semifinalist, but a public vote through USA Today will select the winner of the award. You can cast your vote at aausullivan.org. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.